Hey, what's up? It's Coach Jesu here. I had somebody in the Facebook group kind of asking what do I do with free play? How do I get good at free play? What's kind of the transition there? So, as a coach, I'm going to show you a few things that I've shown my students in the past. The first two here are really going to help with your ability to put pressure on net. And this goes from anyone who's just starting out in Rocket League to anyone who's even Grand Champ or SSL. If you're not doing this in free play, especially around tournament time or anything that's important, then you need to be doing it. It helps with your striking ability. Okay. So if you're new, we're going to take this from a standpoint if you're new. But yeah, you're going to go up and you're just going to bang the ball here off the corner wall. What you want to do is try to read that ball in and just shoot it on net like this, right? So you're going to go ahead and make sure you have the reset shot enabled. You come through, you're going to hit off the corner here. You're just going to try to come in and shoot it. And what this is doing is allowing you to develop the knowledge of how the ball is going to be bouncing off the corner walls, right? And as you develop this, you're going to get better at it. You're going to want to try to get closer, right? So you're going to try to like hit it and try to place the ball a little bit. Maybe I want to place it to the left side. Maybe I want to place it top right. This one, not going to bounce the best, right? So I'm forced to make a kind of awkward shot on the net, right? But it does allow you to kind of learn to develop these skills. Here's another awkward one. Okay, I'm gonna bounce a little bit weird, right? So missed my shot there, not good, right? So I want to be making sure if I'm a higher rank player that my shooting accuracy is somewhere around like 90 to 100% on the shots. If you're not doing that, you might be honestly leaving out a lot of opportunities in games, right? So the other thing too that you could be doing, okay, so maybe we want to be trying to place that. So there I was trying to place the top right. Couldn't do it, right? Because a lot of times in GC ranks or higher, you're gonna have defenders in net, so you need to be able to read these, and you need to be able to put the shots. Like right now I've been putting most of my shots in the middle, and if there was a defender in net, they're probably going to save it. Maybe not that one. That went to the far left corner, right? So you want to make sure if you're higher ranked that you're working on placement of that. If you're lower rank, you just want to be able to find the reads and put the shots on the net. All right, next one here is to work on your clears, and this is more specific to lower rank players or players who have not really figured out how to read the bounces yet. So you're gonna have the ball set up here and you're just gonna bang it off the corner. It's gonna roll back, and this is called a turn and clear drill. So you're gonna turn, you're gonna hit it as hard as you can, right? And there I didn't jump. You don't have to jump at all of them, but this one you are gonna have to jump because it's bouncing. Right, so I actually didn't get that much power in that one. That's on me. It's gonna roll out here, so this one I'm not gonna have to jump, right? But you want to be thinking, okay, if I'm hitting this in game, how can I send this downfield? How can I get a lot of power on it, right? So that one a little bit higher, not as much power, right? It's gonna come back in here and bounce. I'm just gonna wait for a good bounce, but you really want to work on these turn and clears and trying to get as much power as you can. Offensively in game, if you're able to do this, right? Let's say there's a defender downfield here. I'm able to just clear that downfield, and that's going to put them on their back foot. And if I can follow it up here and find the shot on net, that's just going to throw off everyone. I swear, anyone who's C1 or lower, if you're able to do this and just like consistently put a lot of pressure in just from bangers like that, you're going to be able to score a lot more goals in your games, right? So those are the first two things. Highly recommend any rank, but get good at that, right? So next thing that you want to work on here is you probably want to work on your dribble plays. And again, this is probably for people who are newer, but to pretty much start your dribble training is you want to do this. You want to kind of like do a figure eight. So bring the ball around in a circle like this. This is the first thing you want to do for learning. You take ball cam off, right? So make sure you have ball cam off for this if you're a lower ranked player. And you just want to do this. Just go around circles, right? Nothing too hard, right? So the transition to this is after you figure that out, you go left, you go right, all right? The transition to this is you want to pop it on your car, right? So you just got to cut in, right? So that's how you get the pop on your car, right? So do that again, cut in, right? And you see I took the ball cam off and back on. See it's off now. It allows me to kind of look at the ball and it bought back on. Now I'm able to get it back on my hood. So from there, you want to practice, keeping the car, the ball on your hood here, and eventually it's going to turn into flicks, right? Just gonna do a quick reset here. So yeah, you want to work on your cuts and eventually work on your 45-degree flicks like that. And You know, if you're trying to do this in game as well, make sure you're doing your flicks earlier than later, because a lot of people, the biggest mistake they make after they learned how to do flicks is they do them too late and they get shut down immediately all the time. So it's better to do it earlier and put it short than to get shut down and have them kind of turn around and score on you because they were able to shut down your flick. So yeah, there's that. That's the dribble playing. The next is kind of speed training, and speed training just kind of takes everything into consideration, and you just want to be banging the ball, right? And you'll see a lot of pro players do this. They're just kind of banging the ball and trying to hit it in different areas. And pretty much what this is doing is it's kind of building up your muscle memory to make it awkward, right, for anything. So, you know, maybe I would never do this, but in game, just gonna bring this back here, sorry. Hit it to the wall here, you know, you're gonna just like bang it. And again, it's kind of like the corner reads, going up for an aerial, right? And in game, you might not be doing this all the time, but if you do get put in a situation like this, then, you know, at least you're a little bit more comfortable with it. And that's pretty much all. You're just kind of chasing the ball around, banging it. And it seems dumb, but you'll see pro players doing this. They sometimes practice specific mechanics while they're doing it. You know, they might go up and try to do some flip resets and whatnot during their speed training. But for the most part, they're just trying to get comfortable with the ball and figure out like how it's feeling. Especially for like warming up, this is kind of what you want to do. Just kind of warm up real quick, right? So that's speed training. The other thing that you'd probably want to do is there's different types of wall to air dribbles. So we'll start with the basic one, which is actually taking it off the wall. So you take it up here and you hit it up, right? And you don't have to actually air roll. You can just go straight on it. You just want to practice kind of keeping it on the hood of your car, right? But the transition to do this, a lot of people ask, okay, how do I do this? You want to be hitting the ball. See, there's a little line here on the wall. You want to be hitting the ball right around that little line. And the way that you want to do this is you want to, after you hit the ball, you want to practice pulling off, air rolling, and then turning to the ball like that, right? So pull off, air roll, and boost, right? So pull off, air roll, boost. And so anyways, you want to make sure you can do that, right? Some basic aerials. So you're going to roll up, you're going to create some space, then air roll. You just want to get close to the ball, right? At the start, you're just going to do a couple touches and kind of figure it out. I like to reset the ball afterwards just to, you know, be able to get set up in a good position, right? And you probably want to like practice this on one side only to start and then move to the other side after you get comfortable on both sides, right? For me, my right side is definitely more comfortable, but I'm okay on both sides. I can definitely do both. So that would be like the wall, the air dribble training. And there is a training pack I'll show you after that actually helps out quite a bit with that. The other one that you want to do is resetting the ball here. I think on the D-pad, it's left D-pad. Kind of sends the ball at you. Okay. So what you can do is you can kind of like reset it and then pop the ball, right? And this kind of helps for you if you're trying to get some first touches on it and kind of go into air dribbles and, you know, be able to set it up like that. So I like to practice this a lot. Just gonna reset it, pop it up. Sometimes I'll go in and try to do flip resets or whatever, right? Or I'll get a backboard touch and try to hit some crazy angle here. But yeah, now we're getting a little bit more complicated. And even myself, you can see my age showing here a little bit. I'm not the most mechanical player, but that's something that you can do for sure. It's just kind of sending the ball back towards you like this, getting the pop like that, and then just trying to follow up with it to score on the net. But yeah, let's go back into one of my favorite training packs here. So from free play, you're gonna want to go over to this wall to air dribble, and this is more for people who can aerial and are looking to improve in their aerial ability. So the first one, like I said, you're just gonna do this first shot here, and you're just gonna come up and try to aerial it into the net, right? And doing the same mechanics I showed you, just pull off, practice keeping the ball close, and just kind of aerialing it into the net, right? So once you're okay at this, then the transition to this is you want to try to do backboard doubles. So that's where you're gonna pull off, you're gonna try to hit it and create some space, and then try to hit the angle back in. So this is gonna help in a few different ways. You can try to fling it towards the net. It does make it significantly harder when you fling it, I usually, for people who are just starting out, I like to try to tell them like hit it and then try to find the read. But yeah, it's like just getting to the point where you can actually hit it on the backboard is one thing, but this helps a lot for your backboard reads, trying to find the angles to hit, right? So I would do that next after you can do air dribbles, so you can even just give it a little pop and try to get in and read it. But it's a different style of angle because you're kind of coming more on top of the ball, right? But this is very helpful for learning the various reads off the backboard. And you can see as I'm doing this, I'm kind of warming up and my angles are getting a lot better, right? So that's another thing you can practice specifically. The next one is, if I just reset here, is actually doing flip resets, right? So flip resets in the ball, you can come, this is more mechanical, right? You got to be able to get pop off the ball, right? And so how you do flip reset, essentially you're going to be in this position and you just get the pop. So you kind of like, you need to get a bit of distance between you and the ball. You come up, you're going to hit it, you're going to pop. If you get too far behind, I usually go for like a musty out of it. But if you're good on the position, you can try to shoot it or go for double resets. And again, you can like, you know, control it a little bit more. You can try to like, you know, combo this, like get a first touch and then come in and try to get a reset. I didn't do it there, but you get the point. So coming in here to practice your resets is always a lot of fun. It's a good way to practice your mechanics. And this is typically how I get a lot of my resets in game, is because I practice this quite a bit. So the first thing you want to do is just try to be able to like get the reset, right? And then the next thing is actually trying to be able to shoot it and score it. But a lot of people that have issues once they get the reset, they like don't really know how to find the shot on net. So the biggest thing, and I haven't really been doing it here, is you want to find the pop. So I'll show you. See how far I popped off there? Now I can kind of flip into it, right? The way you pop off is you got to drive a lot of speed. See, I saw my reset there, but you want to drive a lot of speed into the reset. That allows you to pop off the ball really far and give you a little bit more space to be able to follow up on it. The reason that I'm not popping off as much is because for the double resets, you want to kind of keep it a little bit closer. And I've been trying to practice that more in my arsenal recently. Another thing you can do is go off the wall here. So you want to go, or off the ceiling, sorry. And you can, you know, try to line that up. So you just come up here, try to find your first shot on that. Maybe you want to control it more, then find the shot. Another thing that you could be doing for sure, musty, try to hit like a double if it hits off the back. But yeah, I would, for anything that's like specific like this that you're trying to find, or just gonna work on these mechanics, you're gonna get a lot more gameplay doing it this way. But eventually you want to get back into free play and trying to like, if you, let's say you're getting in, you want to like head into rank, right? You want to practice a little bit of shooting, and you kind of want to practice a little bit of that like speed kind of training is what we're calling it, where you just kind of like combine everything. Especially if like, say right now this side is my my more comfortable side, right? I don't want to be practicing that all the time, right? So I want to come over here and practice my left side as well on the air dribbles and everything else, right? So you want to make sure that you can do it on both sides. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm just gonna see if I missed anything else. The other thing, like the only last thing I'll say is, if you're lower rank and you want to get more mechanical, honestly, the best way to do it is just spend more time in free play. So what's a good number of time to play? Let's say you have 2 hours to play Rocket League. Spend 1 hour in free play and try something specific. Try to get good at one thing specific before you move on to the next. Once you've mastered that skill, move on to the next one. Do the kind of progression that I showed you here. And eventually, if you're doing 50% gameplay, 50% training, you will get more mechanical, you will hit higher ranks, and you will improve. So hopefully this helped at least one person, and we'll see you next time. Coach JC.